Not you
In the free
snatching
section.
every lock out of my head. She said,
Close the door if you don't want them to come in. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Sister Series. I'm Mariah.
And I'm Elise.
We are two sisters by choice, navigating what it means to live and exist in today's world. And if you are watching us on YouTube or Spotify or wherever else you get your visual podcasts, you will notice that I am at a different background. Or not at a different background. I have a different background. It's because I am in NOLA, New Orleans, Louisiana.
Let the good
what
times
is New Orleans
roll.
known for? Like the city of what?
Food.
The food
The girlies.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Beignets. That's all I know.
Period. The city of like jazz, culture. It's full of culture.
Yes. So this is only my second time being in New Orleans, and every time I've been here with my kids. So it's a different feel, I think.
Yeah.
But we'll swing back to that later. Anyway, Elise, how are you doing?
I don't think I'm good today.
Oh no.
I am so irritable. I almost had a panic attack twice this afternoon. I think I'm just, like I've said before, I'm a person of completion, and I am not being able to complete the task that I want to complete because I don't have the materials that I need to complete them. And I'm just very irritable today. And it's not, what's going on with this? It's not normal irritable. It's like, what is going on? Like I snapped at my husband because I will vent, Jared. I will vent, and his first stance is to let me find a solution for her. Let me tell her how to fix it. I don't want you to tell me how to fix it right now. I just need you to hear my vent. Just listen, because I'll say something and he'll be like, well, just do it. I know I need to do it. Just let me vent.
I like that too, because I probably already have the solution. I just need to get this out.
Like,
even
let me
though
feel
there is
my
a
feels.
solution, let me talk about it first.
Yeah, let me feel my feels. I also there's just so many things. Mother's Day is tomorrow, so I wanted to do something for my mom, and I wanted to go get these things, but I didn't have the energy to do it. I worked all day. I got my wedding invites in the mail, and they didn't look how I wanted them to look, so that was another tick on my chart. I'm going to fix it because I'm a person of fixing, but it's just extra stuff that I have to do. I wanted to I was trying to print some signage for our wedding, but it was only printing in gray. I wanted it to be black, so I couldn't figure out why that was happening. So it was just thing after thing, and I couldn't complete anything. And I wanted to finish a task, and I could not finish a task. And that sent me into a spiral of lashing out, frustration, and annoyance. But now we're here.
Yeah, self-awareness is the big thing, Elise.
You know, I was gonna say, thank goodness our topic is what it is today, because I literally felt myself having a panic. And also, I worked all day. I worked from 9 to 3 as a tutor.
Oh, that's right. I was like, she worked on a Saturday. I forgot. Yes, you do.
Yes, and so when I got off, I wanted to do all these things, but my body was so tired and exhausted. I felt, like how it feels when your blood sugar drops. I felt lethargic. I think when it drops, lethargic. I didn't have any energy. It was like an out of body experience. So when I came home, I was like, well, let me try to do some easy things. Let me try to print this signage where I can just focus on a computer. That didn't work.
Turned out to be hard.
Yeah. So I was like, I need to lay down because I don't feel good.
Yeah.
And so I laid down for like an hour, and I was like, dang it. In that hour, I could have gotten something. Anywho, I am frustrated today.
You have to give yourself permission to rest.
I am irritable today. Yeah. And I can already feel myself coming out of my irritation, but I mean, the last 4 or 5 hours have been hell on earth, or
mostly for your husband.
For actually, yeah. So I do need to apologize, because he was just trying to help. I will apologize at some point once I get past my irritation.
When you see this episode, that's your apology.
He's just trying to help, but I know what I need to do. I don't have like I have lots of friends. Like you have a silhouette, and then
Yeah.
Brittany has a Cricut. So I have friends that have the things that, but it's like I wanted to do like some stuff right now, but I have to
Yeah.
wait. You know, that type of thing.
Because we gonna fire it up for you. Listen, I
I
won't fire
know,
that
and
silhouette up for just anybody.
I know. I was like, I have so many people that can help me get to what I need, but also like I have to work. Schedules have to work out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I get
I
it.
wasn't. That was not what I was frustrated about. I was frustrated about that stupid printer in that room that won't print correctly. That's
Is it
honestly
your
what
home
frustrated
printer?
me.
Let me jump on my soapbox. The home printers are ghetto. Like
Ghetto.
they never work. It's
Yes.
always something wrong with the home printer.
Yes. And you know, I have to be grateful because it is a printer that my mother-in-law gave us. It's an
Oh,
older printer, but it works. And if it
okay.
works, we're going to use it. But we can't find the ink for it because it's an older printer.
See, this is what I'm talking about. It's always something.
Yeah, but there's ink in it. It's just printing gray and I need black. And what
Yes.
in the world? Let me just stop.
I don't know how to I will tell you, I can troubleshoot quite a bit of things just by going through the motions. Like, we're going to try this ain't working, let's try this. But a printer, I can't wrap my brain around how to troubleshoot a printer. Like,
literally,
what do you do?
I was like, this is it. This is it for me. I'm about to tear this house up because I am not in the mood for these shenanigans today. So that's how I'm feeling.
It's always when you need it. The printer.
I mean, and I was more frustrated with my body because I'm like, I need energy because I have stuff to do and I don't want to feel lethargic right now. What is wrong with you?
My therapist told me when you start having physical symptoms in your body like that, it means you're doing too much and you need to rest. Okay. And I don't want to hear that. And I know you don't want to hear that because who has time to rest? However, our body is literally telling us like, girl, I'm about to drop.
Like, yeah. And I think that's what started the spiral. What started the spiral is that I knew we had to record today. So I was like, I have a few hours to get this done. And when my body wasn't responding like I needed it to respond, that is what triggered the downfall. And then the dominoes fell.
Yeah. They be so easily these days.
So that's how I am. How are you, sister?
I am well. I told you I'm in New Orleans, and whenever I told people I was going to New Orleans, they're like, oh my gosh, Mother's Day in New Orleans. But I was like, well, it's actually like for a dance competition convention, which is cool. Like, I love to support my kids, whatever. So it's not like a restful relaxation, walk the town of New Orleans. Yeah. It's like hair change, makeup, change the costume, do this. Now you got to go up. Now you got to go down. Now we need to be here. Yeah. So, I mean, it's all good, but it's not relaxing, but that's okay.
Go.
Yeah. So I think it's probably like 6.5 hours away from home on our side of town. So I'm grateful that I didn't have to drive. My husband drove the whole way because I am a passenger princess all the way. I am not the driver. So I am grateful for that. I got to sleep in the car and I got a good nap in today. So overall, I would love to be just doing nothing, but I am grateful.
You look refreshed. I have to say, you look refreshed. Yes.
You know what? At least it's my 3-strand twist.
It's super cute.
The 3 strands is lasting. My 2 strands never last this long. It's been a week, a whole week. And you can still see curl definition, and I have not retwisted any of it. Yes. So that's probably why I look so refreshed. My hair look all right.
Now you have to do 3-strand every time.
I know.
Is the process longer than doing 2-strand?
I think I'm slow at doing my own hair at baseline, so I can't really tell the difference. When I did this one, I did the little wash it while it was still twisted hat, so it didn't take that long, but it's when I try to get the good parts. It's because I can't see back here. Like, I got to part and look in the mirror, then hold this mirror. It's a lot.
Yeah, that's too much. Yeah.
So in summary, I am doing okay. You know.
I love it.
I'm here.
We love it. Listen, you packed that mic up and took it on down to get on NOLA, didn't you?
I said we will not be stopped.
Let me tell you, we are recording on a different day than we normally record, and it really not threw me for a loop.
It feels weird. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it feels odd. I'm just like, what is happening? So my days will probably be off for the rest of the week. I'll be like, what days?
It's so
Screaming.
crazy. Are you like since we're talking about all this, I
Yeah.
heard you say like you want to check something off. So I don't know where this stems from, but I am a check box girly. Like
Yep.
I will write stuff in my planner,
Hmm.
draw a box just so I can check it off. Even
Yes.
if I already did it, I'm like, I'm about to write this down and give myself credit for
Yeah, I make a to-do list. Well, more mainly on weekends, but I make
yeah.
a literal to like a it's actually a ridiculous thing that I'm doing. I will make a to-do list of like take Jazzy or like something ridiculous that doesn't really need to be on a to-do list, but I will put it on there just so that I can check it off because I've got to
Yes,
feel accomplished in
that's what
some
it
right.
is.
Yeah.
Yes. So
And
I'm
when I can't check it off, I spiral.
yeah. But
I had all these
hindsight,
things.
something I looked at recently in my planner, so I'll write all this stuff on one day, realizing I'm not gonna check this all off. And then I'll go back a couple weeks and I'm like, oh, I did that and I did that. Even though I didn't do it on the day I said I was gonna do it, I got it done. So
Yeah.
we gotta give ourselves some grapes. Not grapes.
Yeah.
Grace.
Grapes is
Grace.
hilarious.
I mean grapes taste
Listen,
good, but we need grace.
I think what has gotten me sucked in is the social media. I'm on social media and you can see the wedding stuff is like taking over my timeline because we're nearing down to the, final countdown and the
Mhm.
girlies are showing all the stuff that they're doing and I'm like I haven't done any of that DIY stuff. And I keep telling myself I'm going to get on it this summer when I'm out of school, but I'm like I should probably start something now. And then when I was amped up to start something now,
The universe
my
is
now
working
didn't
against
work.
you.
So
But
yeah.
also social media is fake. They
I
probably
know
did
I got
that
sucked
months
in.
ago, and they're
But
just now posting it.
also why? Why are you doing it 8 months out? Why are you printing the fans? Why? Why? Why are you printing
I don't know. That's
your
a great
useless
question
programs right now?
because mine would definitely get ruined.
Listen, like I wouldn't even know where I put them. Why are you
Exactly.
doing this stuff so early? So then it makes me think like, am I behind? Am
No,
I because I would make it and I wouldn't I wouldn't be able to tell you where I put that box.
I'm good for hiding stuff from myself because I
Literally
need to
that.
have like organization and I need to clean up. So then I end up like thinking I'm doing something, putting everything away. Then I can't find it, and I'm like,
Literally
great,
that.
it's
That's
clean,
it.
but it's lost.
That's exactly it. So I mean, I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway. But I was like, I'm feeling a little, like what's the word? I want to accomplish something.
Yeah.
Fail.
You were feeling ambitious and your body was
Yes.
feeling tired, and
And
you
it
didn't
fought
listen
me.
to your body. You were literally fighting for your life
Oh,
against
I
your
was
life.
so mad. I was so mad at myself for being tired. I was so
Girl, you
mad.
are human.
It's actually delusional now that I say it out loud.
So this is going to be a great episode because we're going to ask our guests about this. But I also saw something about, so we are raised by like these strong women who are on the go, they're getting stuff done. So then we internalize that and then we feel guilty about resting because
Yeah.
when you're resting, you're like, oh dang, an hour has passed. In an
Yep.
hour, I could have done XYZ, but instead I'm over here laying down. So now that's going to push me further back.
Yes.
When in reality, like we need rest. We
Yeah.
need rest. We need to
Yeah.
rest our bodies, our minds, all the things.
That's true.
So
I'm gonna have to, somebody's gonna have to kick it into me because I am never, it just won't. And like you said, growing up, even like Jared, when we met, on the weekends, I grew up go, 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 go. We didn't, it was, as soon as we got out of school on Friday, we were in sports. So we were sports, sports, sports.
yeah.
Walmart, Ross. My mama need to go to Sam's. We gotta go to Sam's. We gotta do the grocery trip. We got church all day. Back to
Ooh,
school on Monday. There was no break.
yeah.
No break. Jared, on the other hand, had a lot of breaks on his weekends.
Lucky
And
him.
okay, and so it was hard to merge our lives of me always go, 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 and him used to having rest and peace.
Oh, I
It
never
was a
thought about that.
interesting mix, but I think we've done well.
Yeah.
Jared has just had to become go, go, go. No, I'm just kidding.
So done.
But he prioritizes I need a break, and I've learned I probably don't take the break, but he
Yeah.
will take a break, and it's been an interesting mix.
I crave breaks now. Like there are
Hmm.
some things I think in our family that we are kind of revamping, trying to do things a little different. next year, like next school year, all the things.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes from this place of me wanting to rest, like me personally not wanting to be on the go all the time. I said earlier, like I'm always going to support my kids and what they want to do, but I'm like, these days it looks different. I think some
Yes.
things are not always necessary. As a kid, I think I had like a steady paced life, probably somewhere in the middle. Like we weren't always go, 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 but we weren't always like I'm bored either. But somewhere along the way, I craved this. I want to always be busy. Like, I want to have a calendar. I want to have somewhere to go. I want the invitation. I want to be at the party. But now I'm like, I'm okay if you don't invite me. I'm okay if I don't have
Yeah.
anything to do. Like, I think our priorities just shift at
Yeah.
some point in life, and that's okay.
Yeah, even now, like on Fridays, Jared will go to his little place that he plays cards. And I am typically home on the couch doing absolutely nothing. That's what it's been in the last couple of weeks. And my mom will, and my mom will call me and she'll be like, "What you doing? Well, you're not doing it?" And I'll be like, "No,
Girl,
I, for one, enjoy. This is what I wanted. I enjoy sitting on my couch doing absolutely nothing, scrolling through TikTok and letting YouTube play in the background.
Yeah.
I also, it's not healthy, but whatever. I enjoy my alone time sometimes.
Yeah,
I
for
am
sure.
okay with sitting silently in my house.
Yeah.
That is what I enjoy right now. And
Yeah.
it is a hard concept for my mother to understand.
She like,
She'd be like,
girl,
you don't have no, you be laundry, you got laundry. No, yeah, actually, yeah, I do. I do have laundry to do. Am I doing it right now? Absolutely not. I'm
You know
not.
what? I think, and don't get mad at me, Mama Jackie. I think some people from that generation, they can, and even my family, they attribute rest to laziness.
Yes.
I
And
remember there
that's
being
the
a
truth.
time when it was like, why are you laying on the couch? You ain't got nothing to do. Like, no, I'm just relaxing.
Like, can I
Like,
get
you
a
need to stop
break?
being lazy.
Literally that. Can I get a break? So
Yeah.
yeah, they do. I'll say it. They do attribute it to being lazy. My mama
Yeah.
used to wake us up at 7 a.m. to clean the house, wiping down the baseboards.
With that
Why do the
Anita Baker
baseboards need to,
plan.
yeah. Why the baseboards need to be wiped down every other day? They're not even that dusty.
And if they are, it's okay. You can't even see it.
Literally. Okay, well, that was
What
a
a
nice
great
introduction.
intro. I don't even know if that was an intro, a candid conversation, but we just gonna keep on going. So we are going to switch it up for a candid conversation. I've said this before, but we never discuss what the candid conversation is before we actually have it because we want it to be like real and raw and don't mind that shadow in the back.
I'm about to say we can see Austin in the back.
Just a large man. Anyway, so we're gonna do a little switcheroo, and Elise is gonna host our candid conversation. What are we talking?
This is I'm crazy. Here's the issue.
We know.
I was sitting in a meeting at work, and this is the most random thought in the world. But my question is for the candid conversation is, first, do you consider your name spelled differently?
Elise, don't get me started. I will shut this computer right now.
Okay,
What do you mean?
my candid conversation is,
And
when
yours
did you?
too.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. I didn't realize. My question is, when did you realize that your name was spelled differently than the norm? I did not realize that Elise is the craziest name in the world
You're full of yourself,
until
Elise.
recently. I was like, what? Like, what? Like, it's not normal for people not to be able to find their name and the name stuff at the store, at the little gas station when they want a
I am
keychain.
getting very triggered. This first and middle name, Elise.
Also, like how did you even come up with this, Al? What made you put 2 S's? What made you say but the point of this candid conversation is, I didn't realize that it was so different until recently.
You know what? I think your name, Elise, like, how do you even spell
your name is more
Elise? Okay,
Elise.
Or I've seen, which this is kind of different too, ELECE. But the only reason I think that is because I know a girl that I went to school with named Elise.
I've never seen
and that's
that.
how she spelled hers.
Oh,
But yeah, I
like
think
that.
ALI. You said SSE?
No, it's ELISE is the norm.
That's true.
And so I never, because it's the same, really, it's not the same name. Mine is the country name. It's Elise. Elise and Elise, I guess, are two different things. But why didn't I realize that my name was so not, like, my name is not, yours is somewhat like close to normal.
Girl,
You have an extra A. That's it. I
listen,
have
the
it completely
way,
named.
yes. Okay, yours makes sense though. Phonetically, your name says Elise.
Well, then why can't the people pronounce it?
Because they never seen it.
Listen.
They don't have no creative brain. You know what? Put a pin in this because somebody at work this past week it wasn't my patient. It was, I don't even know if it was a patient and I don't remember the name, so I don't feel bad about breaking any hip or anything. But one of the Black nurses was like, how do you say this name? And right off the bat, I said it. I don't even know. I can't remember what the name was. But right off the bat, I said it. And then our coworkers that were not Black, they were like, how do you know that's what that says? I was like, it has to. Like, I
It
know
just
the
makes
way
sense.
we think. Like, we think and then we
See?
spell a certain way.
I'm screaming because that's literally what was going through Al's mind when he named me.
Yes, but like I would never look at your name and say Alice or like
Oh,
anything
well,
except Elise.
95% of the world is, because if you saw my name before knowing my name, you would have not said Elise.
I definitely would have. That is a Black spelling, Elise.
You're
know
an
how
anomaly.
Black people spell.
You are an anomaly. The rest of the world has called me Elise or Alice for my entire life, and I didn't realize till recently that my name was so different. Was
it's
rare.
I'm sitting there, you was like, I'm right. And this
I was
is
like,
how
yeah, my name is Elise. And how you didn't know that there was 2 S's in it?
Is your middle name, not to put your whole government name out there, but is your middle name spelled the normal way?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, my brother's middle name, I mean, my parents, you would have thought they were from, like, where are you from?
Girl, why did they do this to us? Like, well, I just wanted a normal name and like
I'm gonna tell
or
it.
middle.
Let me tell you what my brother's middle name is. It's actually the most ghetto thing you could ever think of.
I need to hear this.
His middle name is Terrell, but it is spelled T''REL. And would you ever think that my parents, who they are today, would have done such a thing back then?
He just put no apostrophe in his name.
And to this day, he hates it. My name was going to be AL''SE. She wanted an apostrophe in all our names. And what in the country is going on here?
I am unwell. It was like the apostrophe added a little razzle dazzle.
She said, I want apostrophes in all of my kids' names. Don't you dare.
I'm laughing because my nieces and nephews have apostrophes.
See? It's a Black thing. What do the Black moms want an apostrophe for? T''REL? Terrell. I mean, it's the funniest thing today.
Oh my gosh, my abs hurt.
And I'll never let him live it down. Your middle name is T''REL. So you can't
where you go, how big you get. Your middle name got an apostrophe in it, and it's Terrell.
And it's not even 2 L's at the end. It's 1 L. Like what? Well, maybe it is 2 L's. But anywho, T''REL doesn't even look right on paper. So there's that.
Not right either.
No. But
sorry,
I just wanted to talk about, like, when did you realize, because growing up you couldn't, when did you realize as an elementary kid that your name was spelled
my whole
differently?
life, because this is what happened. They would be reading it could be a substitute reading the names in alphabetical order. I knew when they got to my name because they would pause and then they would be like,
Same.
Maria, I was like, I'm here. I'm here. It's me.
Same.
I'm here.
But in my head, I was
my
like,
last name after saying everybody else's first name, and I'm like,
oh, okay.
Y'all, it's not that different.
Yours is not at all.
My dad's side of the family, they call me in a jokey manner Marahaha, because it's like Mari, Mara, and then the A-I, and then H-A-Ha. And I'm like, guys, leave me alone. And then I went to a new nursing unit and she called me Maria Ha. And I was like, Pause and take a second. Would you ever name your child that? Like, I'm getting triggered all over again. Maria Ha, Maraha Ha. Like, it's
I'm
too much.
crying.
Maria.
Let me tell you, I just never in my head was like, I just always was like, why they can't say my name? Like, why you can't? I didn't realize that the name was spelled country. I didn't
I've known
realize.
my whole life. And you know what? I don't even think mine was country. I think
Yours is not. Yeah, just a little razzle dazzle.
They was doing a lot.
Yeah, yours is
my
not.
middle name.
Well, how do you? It's just. Is it? Your middle name sounds like a last name.
It does. It also
Yeah.
sounds like I'm from the Caribbean somewhere, and I'm not.
Screaming.
I'm just like, y'all be trying to be too creative. Like,
yes,
I just want to be Ashley or Danielle or
And now I can't ever see another. I was supposed to be a Carrington. I was supposed to be Carrington because my mom wanted boy girl. She wanted gender neutral names at one point.
Oh, that's cute though.
But and then also the story is, oh, I'm named after my grandmother. Oh, really? What's your grandmother's name? Alice and Elise really sound the same, but on paper, what is this? What is this?
It's the Y and the E at the end that changes the whole situation.
Literally, phonetically, it is not even similar.
Yeah.
But word to my grandma, because I'm named after you, but my dad decided to throw a Y and 2 S's in there. So there's that. But I just was like, I'm gonna talk about this on a candid conversation because I really want to know, when did people realize that their name was was very rare or different?
I could spell, I knew. I was like, who in the I can't read names my name like that? You know what? I'm so sorry. My auntie actually named me. She names all the kids. Love you, auntie. But
there's an extra A.
Ariya. Or
I like yours.
Mariah. It's not Mariah. Like some black people will call me Mariah, and I'm like, it's Mariah.
We say that. I say that, and I'm always like, why am I saying that? It's because
you're country.
Mariah.
Yeah, but everybody calls me that, and I'm used to it. But like in reality, my name is Mariah. Like,
but written. But I think your name is so pretty. The A is just that's normalcy. The A is just the extra, the A at the end. I feel like
Mariah, because it's like Mariah, and then that A is not there. The AH makes the
No, what I'm saying is like Mariah is the what I see the most.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. A is just what makes yours different.
So I tell people it's silent.
I'm crying.
It has silent A at the end. A lot of people say it's pretty, and I'm like, that's cool. But like my whole life, people act like this is like.
It's very pretty.
A crazy name that they just have never been able to pronounce. And I'm like, it's not that hard. Even if you guess, like, if I didn't know my name and I saw this on paper, I would guess that it's Mariah.
Yeah, because if I could read, I would be able to say Mariah.
Yes, I'm not going to be like, oh, her mom named her Maria Huh. Like,
also, why would I put that Huh in there? Like, why? Now, if it was Maria Huh, I'm going to let you tell me that. I'm not going to assume that your name is Mariah Huh.
But you know what? A black person that wanted you to call their child Maria Huh, it would have been Maria-HA.
My God.
You know, we go apostrophe a dash, you're going to know. See, that's what I'm saying. You gotta know.
I'm screaming at it. This is crazy.
I'm not lying.
This is crazy. But this is what I wanted to talk about. I was like, when else can I bring this up other than candid conversation? What am I going to do? Come up to you at the house and be like, Mariah, when did you realize your name was spelled differently?
I mean, you could have, and we would have had the same.
We would have. But it's even more fun on the pod.
Yes. Oh, that's a good conversation. I want to know what other people's names are. Like, leave a comment if you have a common name with an uncommon spelling.
Yes, I agree.
I want to know what the people's names are, because
me too.
Let us know. I tried to give my kids, I say normal, which I don't want to say that because that's not.
Yeah, what is normal?
Yeah. Yes, I will say I wanted to give them common or easy middle names because I knew their first names were going to be very diverse, is how I feel. And I don't know why I wanted the middle name to be easy. It didn't have anything to be with like, oh, I don't want to be diverse. It was just like, I don't know. I wanted to put a little spin on it because I feel like both of my names are like different.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted them to have like different and then basic.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing. My middle name was Nicole. Like
Yeah.
you said, let me throw this razzle dazzle on Elise and spell it with any letters that you just picked from the alphabet, and then give me the middle name
Y for
Nicole.
Nicole.
Should have just jazzed up the whole name.
Exactly. Or they could have put NYCOLE with a little
Add an H in there. Add a CHOLE. Let's just take it all the way there.
You know what? When I see Nicole written like that, I was like,
Nicole?
Nicolay? Oh, unhinged. That escalated.
That was an unhinged conversation, and that is what I live for.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's a good candid conversation, Elise. Anyway, y'all leave us a comment. Let us know how y'all spell y'all's names. If you feel like it's common. And then what did you do if you have kids or if you have a dog? Because I've heard some unhinged dog names.
Yes.
Maybe you have a dog, a kid, a teddy bear. Tell me, do they have common names and uncommon spellings? I would like to know.
Yes.
Anyway, we are going to move to our next segment. I will let Elise talk about that, and then we'll see.
Period. So this is May, and this month we have celebrated so many things. We've celebrated nurses, we've celebrated teachers, and we also need to acknowledge something that's very important, especially in millennials today, and that is mental health. So May is Mental Health Awareness Month as well. And so we have a very special guest joining us for our segment today. And I'll let her introduce who she is when she joins the suite. So let's get it rolling.
Woo!
All right, y'all. We are in the Sister Suite today with a very special guest. As we said, our segment today is going to be discussing mental health and its importance with people of all ages and why we should take our mental health very serious. So we've got our special guest here, and we're going to just start with the questions, and we're just going to shoot these questions out, and you take it where you want to take it. I was going to say special guest, but we're going to say Coach Pam. Take it where you want to take it, Coach Pam. If something moves your spirit and you just want to talk about it, talk about it. Don't worry about us. Okay, so first, if you could just introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are, whatever you want us to know, what you currently do, and your path to how you got there.
Okay. All right. Well, I am Coach Pam Collins, LPC. I am a licensed professional counselor, and I am located in the good old state of VIA, Virginia. And I have become licensed just recently in 2024. I started this journey in 2017, so it's been a long time coming. So I started this journey in the field of corrections. I started doing substance abuse counseling. I realized that I was kind of good at it and that I enjoyed it, and that without a terminal degree that I was not going to be able to kind of go up and move around and do some of the things that I wanted to do. So I hemmed and hawed just a little bit, got certified as a recovery coach. That wasn't really moving the way I wanted it to move. So then I finally took the plunge and went back to school in 2017, did all of that stuff. And 2024, here I am, finally licensed. And I opened up my practice in January of 2025.
Oh, nice.
Here we are. So, yeah, it's been a long time coming.
I love that. That's a good story.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get into it, because now we know your background. We know that you're qualified to talk about this mental health stuff. And really, you got two people right in front of you that could just be clients, because listen,
Sign me up.
we be struggling. We be struggling with the mental health. So we're going to ask some questions that can relate to us. And can help everybody else. Listen, we got to. The first step is admitting, isn't it, Pam?
You're right.
Right. Mariah's like, tell your own testimony.
Yeah. Now, these people, they already know I'm in therapy every week.
Okay, so let's get into it. The first question I have for you is, how would you define mental health? Like, what is mental health and why is it just as important as your physical health?
That's
Oh
good.
wow, that's a good question. So I would say that mental health is taking care of your thoughts and how you see the world and how you see yourself. And I would also add how you see yourself in the world. So I think it's just as important as taking care of your physical health, because without your mental health, just like your physical health, you can't do anything. One thing that I find with mental health in the Black community, I'm going in already, is that we
Let them know.
neglect our mental health because it's something that we can't see. So if somebody breaks a leg or twists an ankle, or has a migraine and they can't make it to an event, or they can't show up for something in a certain way, people tend to want to accept that because it's something they can see and something they can relate to. But if someone tells
Oh,
you that they're not feeling up to something, they just don't have the stamina today, they don't have the emotional space to show up today, that doesn't get as much respect as a physical ailment. And so it makes it hard for people who struggle with anxiety, depression, or serious mental illness like schizophrenia or bipolar to overcome the stigma of mental health. So, mental health is taking care of your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, how you feel about yourself, and how you see the world around you and how you show up in that world.
oh
That's
yeah.
good. I've never
Yeah.
really thought about the how you see yourself in the world. I'm always thinking like, what does this mean for me? Like, how am I feeling? But like putting the bigger picture out there.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a good perspective.
yeah.
And I fear we are getting into it today because this right here, just with this first answer, I already am like, okay, well, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Let's do
Um,
it.
so because when you say like, we like to say a lot of times, I don't have the capacity for this. I don't have the capacity for that. I like how you worded it as like I can't
Not up
re-
to it.
yeah, I'm not up to it. Some
Mhm.
people, like you said, are just like, well, get up to it. No, that's not how it works.
Right.
Um,
That's how it works.
so I like how you said that. And then to go into what are some misconceptions, and I'd like you to, because we took it there for the Blacks. What are some misconceptions? What are the most common misconceptions you hear about mental health or therapy? And can we speak on the older Blacks too?
Not shots fired. Dang, Elise.
Yeah, that sounded personal, right?
I'm just saying.
Misconceptions about therapy.
What are the misconceptions about, well, both mental health and therapy, or
Um,
therapy and therapy?
well, the primary one that I hear is that you can pray it away, right? So
Mm.
whatever you're going through mentally and emotionally, you're going to be able to pray it away. And I say that not as a dig at the church or at the Black church, because I love Jesus. And so that's not a dig, but that does mean that, if going back to the analogy that I used before, if I get into a car accident and my arm is hanging off, you're not gonna you're gonna pray for me, but that's not all you're gonna do. You're gonna pray for me and you're gonna send me to the emergency room. And so if I tell you that I'm hearing voices, why then do you only want to pray for me? You don't want to pray for me and send me to a therapist or to a psychologist. You only want to pray for me. And so there comes the misconception that um, therapist is almost like there's a maybe a little bit of a contention between the church and therapists. And I guess in some ways there can be, and then in some other ways that they can work together in tandem. And so I think that that is one of the biggest misconceptions that I see. Some others might be that what happens in my house stays in this house, right? So we're not going to talk about it. So just not giving voice to things. not allowing people to have a voice about their experience is a big one. Um, Probably, let's see, praying it away. What happens in my house stays in my house. That's only for white people. We don't do that, right? That's a really big one in our community. Um, that's the old people, right? So like,
Yeah.
so like my parents, and definitely their parents, if they, they were still here, we're not going to talk to anybody about how we're feeling or about anything that has happened in a family, right? Anything like that. We're not talking to anybody outside the family about that. So those are some of the misconceptions, and probably another one is just that, how is talking going to help me, right? And so carrying around weight for years and years and years. Um, and not knowing how that has an effect on your physical body, how it has an effect on your mental as well. So that's just a couple. The list could probably go on and on.
I've seen a shirt that it said something like, I believe in Jesus and therapy. So
Yeah.
like they
Yeah.
can coexist. Kind of like I feel like in the black church sometimes science and Jesus, they don't always like to mix the two, but I think just like science and Jesus can coexist to a certain extent, like you said, so can mental health and Jesus. Like he sends us these tools to use. So I can't relate, man. Like I think
Yeah.
hey, like I believe in therapy and talking helps me. Sometimes that's all I need to do is talk for about 5 hours.
Yep, that's right. And
Exactly.
we're seeing, and thankfully, in more, I don't want to say liberal, but in some churches, you're seeing them bring in therapists and on staff now, which was not seen before, unspoken
Yeah.
of before. So thankfully, there's some type of movement there, but I would like for everybody to jump on the bandwagon. Get an LPC on staff, please.
Yeah.
Get a therapist on staff. We need the help. Most people in the church probably need the most help. So I do know that that's a misconception that we've seen.
I wonder
Oh,
too if sometimes it makes parents feel like they've done something wrong. Or I don't know if
Yeah.
you've seen this with some of your clients, like the whole keep our business in our house or what happens here stays here or whatever it is. I think sometimes maybe that can make them feel like somewhere along the way they did something wrong or they're currently doing something wrong. So there's like some shame associated with it. And if you go seek help, whoever, like my child goes to seek help, then that reflects poorly on me, when sometimes I don't think that's the case. Sometimes people just go through stuff regardless or irregardless of what that looks like in relation to other people, is what I'm trying to say.
yeah.
Very
And
much so.
because and life is hard
Period.
for everybody.
Literally, period.
Life
Yeah.
Stop
is
right there.
hard. Life is
Yeah.
hard. Yes.
And to piggyback off of what Mariah said, the shame from the parents or the family members, but what about like the shame of the people dealing with the mental health issues? What is the advice that you would give for someone who is too ashamed to ask for help or too afraid to speak up when they are feeling this mental, struggle because of the stigma that has been attached to it, especially in our communities? Well, I wouldn't say right now, but maybe like 10 years ago. The stigma that was attached to, just basically saying, oh, they crazy. What's your advice to give to people who are afraid to speak up when they're really, really struggling?
I would say my advice would be, you're not alone, right? More of us are struggling with generalized anxiety, depressive symptoms, just overall nervousness, intrusive thoughts, overthinking than we would ever be willing to admit. Some of the more serious mental illness, even the mood disorders, like bipolar disorders and things like that, schizophrenia, is more common than people are willing to admit. There are probably more people that are walking around that are undiagnosed than there are that are diagnosed. And so my advice to them would be just to know that you're not alone. This is not something where you have to feel like once you are diagnosed with something and once you begin to get the help, that you have to feel isolated or ostracized because of a diagnosis. And then we also like to help clients to understand that we treat the person, we don't look at you as a diagnosis. So if I'm at work and Elise, walks in, then I'm treating Elise. A diagnosis simply tells me this is how I help Elise. This is what I help Elise with. But I'm helping Elise as a person. So I see Elise as a person. I see Elise as a wife. I see Elise as a teacher. I see her as a daughter, right? So I see you as a person who's a part of a family, who's a part of a community, who's a part of an environment and a world at large. I see you as who you are as a whole person. And so helping the person to see themselves that way. So that's why when you ask me the question about what is my definition of mental health, it's not just how you're thinking and feeling about yourself, but how you're thinking and feeling about yourself in the world that's around you. So my mental health as a Black woman might be a little bit different from the mental health of a Hispanic woman, right? Or Hispanic male. So the way that I would be able to show up for another African American client is going to be a little bit different than what a Hispanic client might need. It doesn't mean that I can't treat them. It just means that perhaps a Hispanic therapist may be able to relate a little bit better. We can all treat whomever walks in the door, but when it comes to understanding this whole person in the greater community, the greater environment, and the different working parts of who this person is, being able to relate to that, it helps. So
That's good.
understanding the whole person, you're not alone type of thing. That's the way that I would address it.
Feeling seen.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
That's so
Mm-hmm.
important.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
remember there was a time that I would go to a therapist. I didn't want them to be able to relate to me. I was like, the things that I want to talk about, I don't want them to be like, oh, we share this in common or whatever. And then I feel like when I really started to like get under the surface and really do the work, I was like, I can only see a Black female therapist. And I'm not saying that other therapists aren't qualified, but I needed someone to understand why I feel the way I do in certain spaces or when I show up certain places. So I
Yeah.
think that's super helpful that you said that.
Yeah, and I think what you just said is very powerful as well, because depending on what you want to work on, it makes a difference, right? So if I'm just, kind of wanting to work on like test anxiety, maybe it may or may not matter as much who is who I'm sitting across from. But if I'm kind of wanting to deal with something a little more what's the word? Maybe more individualized, right? So if I'm wanting to work on something such as maybe how I'm feeling in today's political climate, right?
Hmm.
Then who I'm sitting across from is probably going to make a little bit of a difference, right? Because some things that how I experience certain things and how someone else experiences certain things are going to be two totally different experiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if I walk into a room right now and I say, where them fans at? Certain group of people,
Hey.
everybody
Period.
gonna know what I'm talking about, right? And then there's gonna be a certain group of people gonna be like, "What are you talking about, fans?"
Yeah.
Are you
So
hot, man?
it matters.
We can turn the fan on.
You hot? It
Screaming.
matters.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious. And that's a good point. Like relatable.
yeah,
They don't have to, know your exact circumstance. I mean, they're going
right.
to find out, but they have to be able to relate.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good. I something that I have struggled with, and I recently, like within the last 6 months, I've always struggled with setting boundaries for myself to protect my mental health. And it took several domino effect of situations to, realize that, man, I need to set this boundary to protect my mental health. But it falls into people pleasing. And we talk about that a lot on our pod, our struggles with people pleasing. And so my question for you is, oh, Lord, I lost my question. It was good too. Oh, yes. How can someone create healthier boundaries in their daily life to protect their mental health? Like, how can you set, I guess the easy answer is just, say no or things like that. But what are some other healthy boundaries that can be set to protect your mental health?
Let me answer your question with a question. So when you think about, tell me a boundary that you recently set.
I recently said that I'm no longer going to protect people's feelings and walk on eggshells. I'm going to say what I'm thinking, and I'm not going to try to protect how you receive it. Or like protect, like, I guess the overall thing is like, I don't like people being upset with me or mad with me and angry with me. So then I go through life trying to not hurt people's feelings. But sometimes I can't help some people's feelings being hurt. And too bad. I said what I said. And that's where I've gotten in this year alone. It's like, I'm going to say what I say. And if you're upset, build a bridge and get over it. We can talk about it or not.
Yeah.
But
so I feel like what you just said is kind of a standard. So you've kind of set a standard for yourself.
yes,
That's a standard. You're like, okay, moving forward, this is what I'm doing. I'm no longer pretty much people pleasing, right? I'm no longer going to hold my opinion. Not going to just chop your head off or anything like that, but I'm not going to hold my opinion and hold my tongue just so you don't, so that I don't feel like you're upset with me, so that, I can't have a voice and I can't have an opinion. So you kind of set a standard. A boundary is kind of like a door, right? So like a door keeps somebody in, it keeps somebody out, right? So if I close this door, it keeps my sound in, right? What we're talking about, it keeps it in here, and then it keeps the noise in the rest of the house out. So that's a boundary. So then I get to decide what comes in here and what stays out, right? So when I came in here, I left the door open because I knew my dog was out there and I knew she was going to disturb us and start kicking to get in here. So I left it open for her so she could just walk in here. So if I didn't want her in here, then I closed the door, right? Now I can't leave the door open and then say, Remy, don't walk through the door, right? Because I can't control what she does. I can only control what I do, right? So I can't say, Remy, don't walk through the door. I told you, don't walk through the door. Why do you keep walking through the door? No, I have to set a boundary and then I close the door because I don't want you to walk through it.
Not you
In the free
snatching every lock out of my head. She said,
close the door if you don't want to come in.
Okay, so then with that, I got a question. So
I have a piggyback question, Elise.
Go, Mariah.
Because there's a therapist on Instagram, and maybe she's on other platforms, but she's kind of like dispelling these common, she's calling them misconceptions with therapy. And one of them is setting boundaries. And she says that our saying, well, I'm setting a boundary is our way of trying to protect ourselves or running away from things. So I'm saying like, oh, I'm setting a boundary because I don't want to face the fact that I may hurt people's feelings. So I'm going to set a boundary to where they don't even get the chance to get that close to where I'm like, okay, I might have to hurt your feelings. Does that make sense? Like, is boundary setting actually a good thing, or should we be like walking into these situations with the door open and come what may?
No, she's right. So what I know who you're talking about. I don't know her name, but I know exactly who you're talking about. And she's right. So what she's talking about is people using the word boundary as a excuse, for lack of a better word, using the word boundary as an excuse to not deal with something. If that makes
Oh,
right. So that's
Yeah.
what she's saying. So she's saying
to avoid
I'm
it.
setting a boundary and I'm not letting I'm not gonna do this, but really, like what you just said, you're really just doing that to avoid having to deal with someone. So that's not a boundary. A boundary is like if I tell you, Mariah, I don't like people calling my phone after 10 o'clock at night, right? And I say, Mariah, don't call me after 10. And you say, well, it's 10:30. I got to ask Pam a question. And so you call me. I can't stop you from calling my phone. So my boundary is to put it on do not disturb because I don't have to answer it. Right.
Okay.
So the
Yeah.
boundary is when you call, I'm not going to answer. The boundary is when you call, I might block you. The boundary is when you
LOL.
call is going to be on do not disturb.
Yikes.
You see what I'm saying? So the boundary, we don't set boundaries for other people. The
Mm-hmm.
boundary is mine. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
want people calling my phone after a certain time. So then I put it on D&D. So they can call all they want to, but it's not going to vibrate and it's not going to ring. So it's not going to disturb me. Right? Because the ultimate goal is I don't want to be disturbed.
That's
So
Okay.
good.
you can call a gazillion times. My phone is on do not disturb. So that's the
Interesting.
boundary. So you're not going to get me no matter how many times you call. So the boundary is something that is I am setting this thing to I think where we started, I'm protecting my peace, I'm
Mm-hmm.
protecting my space. We can have loose boundaries, we can have
Oof.
close boundaries, right? And the way that I describe it is like a janitor suit. Yeah, like a janitor suit. You know how or like a boiler suit, a boiler jacket, I
Oh
think they
yeah.
call it, with the zipper that comes all the way up and goes all the way down, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm just getting to know someone, right, what I'm talking to you about, I'm gonna be very surface level. So my zipper is all the way up here, right?
Mm.
But if I've been knowing you, like you guys are besties, so your zipper is all the way open, all the way to the ankle. But it's not going to be like that with somebody that a new person that comes into the fold. Y'all gonna be
Mm-hmm.
like, wait a minute, you know. And
Zip back
so
up.
you right. And so the boundaries are okay, we're gonna talk about this when it's just me and you. But when this person comes around, we're not gonna make them feel excluded, but we know that we don't talk about that here. Right.
Right.
And you know,
Okay.
and so
Mm-hmm.
we have loose boundaries, close boundaries, but they're for us. So what the young lady on Instagram is talking about is correct. She's talking about using boundaries as excuses to not heal. Pretty much is what she's
Huh.
Mm.
yeah.
Oof.
And we do that a lot. We do that a
Oof.
lot.
What you say, Mariah?
I said, and I got another piggyback. But you go,
Listen.
Lucy. You go. You
No,
go.
you kind of answered my question, Coach. Oh my God, Coach. You kind of answered my question because I was going to ask, what does setting a boundary look like then? If, yeah, just like what, and you answered it. It's like, and that was the perfect analogy, I feel, with the phone calling and stuff like that. And so my boundary is that I'm not going to, I guess, how would I set a boundary for my particular situation of, I guess my boundary is that I'm not going to make myself smaller. That's not a boundary though. Like I'm not
I
going to
don't think
make
your situation requires a boundary. I think
boundary. Oh,
your situation requires
a
what you did, a
standard.
standard. You set a new standard for yourself, which is
That's T.
I'm going to use my voice and I'm not going to allow what's going on in the room around me to cause me to stifle my voice and not use it. So you
That's
set a
good.
standard. Yeah, you set a standard.
That Nah, got me knocking my mic over. That's good.
Drop
That's
the mic.
good. Mariah, did you want to piggyback?
So, yes, because I feel like you are reading us, not in a bad way,
I
but you
mean,
are
tearing us
letting us
down.
know the truth.
Just
But
kidding.
I do
No.
not feel like all therapists are doing that, Coach. I feel like there are some therapists out there that are feel-good therapists, just like there's some preachers out there that are what do you call it, Elise? Those
Holier than now.
No, the ones that are like,
Showboating.
sow this seed and,
Oh.
like prosperity, the prosperity gospel. Like the whole message is about you and how
Feel
you
good, feel
feel
good,
and
feel
how
yeah.
you need to gain all these things. And if you do this, you're going to gain that. But I feel like in therapy, sometimes I leave therapy and I am on the floor. Not literally, but like I am just emotional and just wide open and like I don't even know how to process all of this, but I got some good stuff out of it. But sometimes I feel like just like there are prosperity gospel preachers, I don't know what you call it in therapy, but like feel good therapists. Like I'm
Yep.
gonna make you feel good. And I don't think that's helpful to the people. Like you need to be, I don't know. I feel like, did you take an oath to like tell the truth or like really dig deep? What is this?
I think that the way that, and so one thing that I will say is that no two therapists are alike. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
getting your hair braided, right? Like
Mhm.
it ain't two people that's gonna braid exactly the same. And so therapy is kind of the same way. And so if you, just like what you were saying earlier, Mariah, is that you may be in one setting where that's what you need. Maybe in this particular at this particular juncture, you need that prosperity and you need that encouragement, and maybe that's what you need now. And maybe you, a year later or 2 years later, now you're in a era in your life where you need those edges snatched a little bit. So then, okay, so now this therapist is not the therapist for this particular point in your life. And so
Oh, that's
you
good.
can outgrow your therapist,
Yeah.
right? And so when
Yes.
that time comes, you as a client and your therapist as a therapist, everybody needs to be mature about that, right? So when your therapist realizes he or she has taken you as far as they can, they got to be mature enough to admit that. And when the client feels like they aren't growing like they used to, or the relationship has shifted or whatever, then we have that conversation,
Yeah.
and then we figure out what's next, and they should
Yeah.
help you transition and find a therapist that can meet your needs for the next part of your journey,
That's
because
good.
Ooh.
every therapist is not going to be equipped. I had a client once that was working on depression. Okay, I can help you with that. And as we began working on it, I may have worked with her for a year. And as we worked on that, we reached the goals that we were working on. And then we began to uncover, and we got to a point where we uncovered an eating disorder. I don't work with eating disorders. So then it's time for me to say, hey, I'm taking you as far as I can. And it's time for me to hand you off to someone who specializes in eating disorders. And so then that's what we do, right? And so now if you find yourself, you have worked on that and you're good on that and you want to come back and work on something else that you feel like I can help you with, then come on back and we'll do that. But we have to shift when it's time to shift.
And this is the perfect segue into my next question. It's kind of a little different, but here it is. What is the difference between, because the misconception I think in some people's brains is, why do I, like you said earlier, why am I just going to talk? I can talk to anybody. So what's the difference between talking to a therapist or a license or an LPC, rather than talking to a friend or anybody, a confidant? What's the difference?
Well, the main difference is that when you talk to a therapist, is that you absolutely can bet your bottom dollar that it's not going to be repeated. That's the main thing.
Ooh,
You
yeah.
never have to worry about the tea being spilled, and
Oh,
so that in and of itself creates a space that is like no other, right? So you can go in there and talk about your mama. Where are you going to go and say things about you know um things about your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, where you can, the things that you may only talk to God about, right? I'm talking about the stuff that you don't let come out your mouth, right? It's only here and between you and him. That's a space um where you can release that. So that's the main thing. The second thing is that your friend is not necessarily trained to help you with strategy. So your friend can listen And your friend might say, well, girl, you should leave him. And I wouldn't put up with that and these things like that. Your girlfriend can do that, but your friend may not always know how to process from a standpoint of objectivity, right? And so being able to be um that I'll say the third person, that person on the outside looking in and having that objective perspective and being able to offer that strategy and having those skills to help you work through some of the trauma, having you to work through those emotions and look and feel things in a way that you've never looked and felt them before. And so going to therapy allows you to experience things that you've been experiencing one way for 20 or 30 years. You can experience it and see it in a new way just by talking about it with a total stranger one time.
Oof.
This I can't explain it. I
Yeah.
can't explain it. And so, for example, like my husband, which Elise knows, had like a major health issue 15 years ago. And so that health issue was very, very traumatic. And so from when that occurred until about maybe, I'll say roughly 6 months ago, every day of my life, I have had thoughts about, is this going to be the day he dies? Is this going to be the day every day for 15 years, right? But now that I have become a therapist, and once I became a therapist, I realized that I was going to have to get my own therapist because it's a lot. When you start dealing with other people's stuff, it starts making your stuff come up, right? So you have to get your own therapist because it's too much to carry other people's stuff and then your stuff is coming up. And so I spoke to her one time about that. And after speaking with her one time about that, I have not had that thought ever again. And I had that thought every day for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I never thought to say, maybe I should go talk to a therapist about this. And I'm a therapist. I never thought, to say, hey, I should go talk to somebody about this thought. Every morning, that was just a thought that I would just have. But now it's gone after one conversation. And so that's something that, I don't know, that value, you can't really put a value on something like that. And it doesn't come from talking with your girlfriend, because I've obviously talked with my friends about that over the years.
Yeah. So, oof.
That's good.
That's good. Look, that's good after every answer you give.
Yes. I will go back and recap my therapy sessions with my friends sometimes. Like, this is my therapist told me about this, just in case it's a tool you can use too.
Exactly.
Listen, I told Mariah, I'd be like, we going to therapy today?
Yep.
Are we send me the notes.
We do the
so
same
I just have, this has been so good, Coach. So this is so fun to see you. We are family. You're my cousin, and I have known you since I was I born? Did you see me? Was my mom pregnant with me? I think I was. I don't know.
We've been married for 20. This year makes 25 years. So you're older. You're
okay.
Older than 25.
She said, well, girl, you
basically.
So you're a little tight, but
yes, but it's so interesting seeing you in this setting, a family setting, and then this setting. It's so cool. And wow, I love this. I just have a few more questions. Okay. Maybe two more questions. Okay. The first one is, I'm stuck between two. Let me reread them.
Read them all.
LOL. I think I want to do this one. Can you share, in this mental health awareness month, can you share any grounding techniques of surface level, because we're going to share. This is another thing. Do you do virtual therapy? Yeah. Okay. We're going to share your information, but just on surface level, are there any grounding techniques or coping strategies for anxiety or stress? Let me get my notepad.
Same.
Okay. So for my go-to, now one thing that I like to say about grounding is that, or any coping skill, is that if you try it and you don't like it, swipe left and just try the next one, right? Just just keep swiping until you find something that you like, right? So this is one that I like, because I don't know why I like it. I just like it. And I use it, I teach it to little kids and I teach it to adults. And I think I like it because it works off of the senses. And so we all have most of us have our senses. Not everybody has all five, but you know what I mean. So this grounding technique, in a nutshell, is called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 because it works off of our five senses.
Yes.
So I'm familiar with that.
My AU students do this that go to therapy.
Okay, so
I taught my
that one,
7-year-old
I
this
love that one.
recently.
Are you familiar, Mariah?
Yes, I recently taught my 7-year-old this technique.
Okay.
Yeah, but I never knew what they were doing, so I'm excited to hear it out.
So yeah, so that is a grounding. That's a grounding technique, and I try to use that with anybody who like dissociates, people who have like anxiety, intrusive thoughts, people who are easily triggered, who like struggle with like PTSD and things are easily triggered and things like that. So it simply works off of your senses. So if you find yourself in a space where you're feeling, overly anxious, you talk yourself through it, okay, Pam, let's just say I'm in a room with a spider and I don't like spiders, right? So, okay, there's a spider on the wall and I just begin to talk myself through it. Okay, Pam, there's a spider on the wall. We're not going to freak out. We're doing the podcast with Elise and Mariah. There's a spider on the wall. Okay, we're safe. Pam, what are 5 things that you can see? Okay. So then I tell myself, okay, I can see my ring light. I see my hourglass. I see my Bath and Body Works candles. I see my Bath and Body Works free endorsements. My hand sanitizer, and I see my earpods. Right, my AirPods. Okay, so what are 4 things that I can touch? Well, I can touch my little hand mirror. I can touch my scarf. I can touch my whatever this thing is for your wrist when you're typing, and I can touch my water bottle. Okay, what are 3 things that you can hear? I can hear my AC unit. See what else I can hear. So this is where it gets interesting because you may have to stop. Okay, so I hear Mariah giggling. I hear Elise breathing, right? So you stop and you start to listen. So what this technique does is it gets you out of your head because anxiety is where it's here, right? It's overthinking. So it gets you out of your head and you have to stop and listen. What do I hear, right? I can also hear my husband, I think, is above my head playing a video game and I can hear bass or music. I hear bass over my head. So I can hear that, right? So there are 2 things that I can smell. So
This is where I get stuck. I'm like, I can only smell one thing that's right by me.
Okay.
Yeah, let me see. Sometimes now I had on some Rich Auntie. Y'all know Rich Auntie?
What's that?
I don't know, but I want to
Rich
know.
Auntie smells so good. It's by y'all got to get you some Rich Auntie. It's
Okay,
by,
yeah, we gonna find
Be a
it.
rich auntie.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got it in. I put it on my hair by mistake, but it's a lot.
We're gonna find it.
It's by. I'll text it to you. I forget who it's by, but it smells so good. And so I can Rich Auntie, and I can smell. I have on from earlier today. I have on some honey oud perfume, and I can smell my perfume. And then for number one, some techniques ask one emotion you feel or one thing you can taste. And so you can do either or, because sometimes when you're in therapy, people don't always have something like in their mouth, like gum or whatever. So you can do one emotion that you feel. Or they may have, maybe they just ate lunch and got something in their teeth and they can, whatever you're doing is to get you out of your head. Right. So if it's like, I do taste a little bit of garlic over there, it's getting you out of those anxious thoughts, is the point.
Yeah.
So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it's based on your senses. If you're by yourself, you do it out loud like that. If you're in a crowd and you can't do it out loud, do it in your head, right?
Yeah.
But the idea is if you're thinking about those things, then you're not obsessing about, is the spider going to get me? or, is everybody looking at me? What are they thinking about me and something on my face? You're not thinking about those things. You're thinking about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then
Ooh.
putting yourself through that. I'm safe, I'm breathing through that and all of those things. So that's one of my favorite ones.
Same. For somebody who is okay being alone and who's also very goofy, this one is very good because sometimes I'll be looking at something, I'm like, why does that look like that? Now I'm like, oh, way over here in left field now, not
Yeah.
even thinking about what was making me anxious or like, what
Right.
is that I smell? Like,
Yeah. Oh, that's so
So
good.
that's a good one for you. I like.
Listen, $100 of free advice, y'all. She brought it
yes,
to the pod for us. One more question. Okay, circling back. That was so good.
yes.
Okay, and then the last question that we have, we're gonna give you your flowers and thank you, but I just gotta say, this has been 10. I don't know what I was expecting. Honestly, I was like, I know one person that can talk about some mental health, and we're gonna invite her on the pod. But I don't know what I was expecting, and I think that this is going to help so many people. This is so insightful, and we are just so appreciative. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
thank you so
you.
much.
The last question before you share your details with the masses is, what is one message you would like to leave with anyone who is listening and struggling with mental health right at this moment?
Oh wow, that's a good one. Wow. I would say, well, one of my favorite words of encouragement to my clients is use your voice. So that's what I'm going to leave your listeners with, is to always use your voice, and to piggyback off of your new standard that you set for yourself, and not stifling your voice and holding back things that you feel like you should say, just so that people don't feel upset with you. Always put your voice in the room. Your voice matters. We have voices for a reason. I always tell people, for some reason we want to stifle our voices, we want to stifle our emotions, but we never see birds not chirping, we never see cats not meowing, dogs not barking, and so we shouldn't see people not talking, and we shouldn't see people not emoting their feelings. We should be doing those things. It's very natural. So feel your feelings and use your voice. that's what
That's
that's
so
what I would
good.
say to start there.
That is, yes,
So
clap
good.
it up, snap it up.
So
So
good.
good.
Wow, I love that.
So that was super powerful. I feel like a good little nugget that you left with us. I was just over here reflecting on the times that I feel like the most uncomfortable in spaces is when I feel like I can't speak up or I can't be myself. So I think that's super important for us to like lean into. Like if you feel like you can't use your voice in the room, then pay attention to that. So that's super good. We are so grateful that you are here. I know Elise probably feels the same way. I feel like I got a free therapy session. So thank you for that. You're welcome to our listeners. Before we let you go, we want you to let the people know where they can find you, or, whatever you want to share. We want to give you that opportunity.
Okay. So one thing that because I know you guys are in Texas. So
Yes.
currently I'm only licensed in Virginia. So all of my clients would have to be in Virginia. So just wanted to put that out there. So I'm here in the Hampton Roads area. And my website is Balance Life TC. So Therapy Center, balancelifetc.com. On Facebook, Balance Life Therapy Center. I think my Instagram is still Therapy by Pam, so you can find me. I still have a Facebook page, Therapy by Pam, so that's kind of easy to remember. Therapy by Pam, so you can find me there. My office is located in Portsmouth, Virginia, downtown. Um, and office number 757-392-9650. And I think that's it, accepting all major insurances and self pay.
Oh, period, because that is huge. There are a lot of
Yes.
therapists who are not taking that insurance, and
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like that limits access, but I do
Yeah.
understand. I definitely understand, but I
Yeah.
think it's, like, super good when you can find someone that does take insurance plus that self-pay.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for that. We will definitely link all of your websites and your phone number in our show notes. That way the people can reference it. And if y'all are in need and y'all are in Coach Pam's area, look her up.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. So with that, we are going to bid you adieu and we are going to hop on over to our next segment.
That conversation was so needed, and it was
Amazing.
such an amazing conversation. Thank you so much again, Pam, for joining us on the Sister Series to celebrate Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes, and so we're switching it up at the end today, and we're gonna go with the feed frenzy first. So we're gonna go into my segment and talk about what we're seeing on the socials. Mariah, you are infiltrating. We are switching segments today.
Yes, this is like a little switch up for the end of the
Yes.
month. We got to keep y'all on y'all's toes.
Yeah, so go ahead and take
Just be doing
over.
stuff. Okay,
LOL.
so I am hopping in the feed frenzy, on the feed frenzy. I don't know if this is like a train or a space, whatever, but we are about to take it there. I have been seeing, and I'm not even on social media a ton, so the fact that I've seen this so much is like insane. So there's a trend going on right now, and I don't know if you've seen it at least, but they're
Yes.
like talking to their kids and they're like, I'm so hungry I could eat a kid. Or some of the moms would be like, say the little boy's name is John. She's like, I'm so hungry I could eat a kid named John. Or
Yeah.
I'm so hungry I could eat a 7-year-old. And most of the kids are like, me? You gonna eat me?
Yes.
And a lot
Yes.
of the kids are very sharp, so I give it to them. Most of the kids are melanated, and I was like, y'all gotta tell them. One of the little girls was like, you do not eat people. And the
Okay.
other one was like, you go eat some spaghetti. And I
Yes,
was
I saw one where she was like, "Well, I'm so hungry I can eat an adult."
right.
I was like, "Yes, you better have the comeback."
The one that had me like, yes, ma'am, she was like, figurative language. My teacher's been telling me about this all week or like all last week. And she was young. And the mom was like, excuse me? She was like, yeah, it's figurative language. It's really just meaning that you're hungry. And I was like, you better
Period.
tell her, girl.
And she better have a real life connection with her lesson at school.
Right. But I want to know what your opinion is. For me, I don't love it. It's super cute and it's very entertaining. And I know it's like innocent. I just feel like there's so many creepy people in the world. And this could be with anything. So I don't know why this one is like sticking out to me. But like, I just don't want to normalize it. Because what if some weirdo comes along and is like, on some Jeffrey Dahmer vibes,
Yep.
or even something even more sick. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want them to be like, oh, well, my mom joked with me about that, or like somebody in my family said that and it was just a joke. And then an outsider comes to say it and they have like a whole different connotation. Like, what do we think about this?
You know me. You know, I don't think, I didn't think about that.
Said it.
I thought it was super funny. I think it's so funny, but I haven't seen any negative, like not negative, but like I've been seeing funny responses, but I did not. I don't. Now that you say that, gosh,
Maybe I'm the
now I'm
problem.
never gonna
just
laugh
saying,
again.
Jeffrey Dahmer was really eating people.
Yes, now I'm never gonna laugh again because now I'm like, oh man, what if these creeps out here are taking this trend into their own minds and saying, I'm gonna use this trend next time to get them. Now I'm like, this isn't funny.
I don't know.
So,
I think it's very entertaining and I know it's very innocent and I love that the kids have the comebacks and they are not to be played with. I just worry about the creepy people.
Yeah, I think if it's but like stranger danger.
I know.
Like if a
stranger says that to you, run.
Like, yeah, run. I don't, especially the ones that was responding the way that they were responding. I don't foresee
they
them.
was ready to two-piece they on mama.
Okay, so I don't foresee them kikiing with Mr. P over here that's trying to take them. I don't see that. I don't foresee the kiki. Right. Now the naive, like not naive. I don't want to say naive. All kids are pure. Um, I don't know how to word it, but the kids that just don't know the game, they don't have as much street sense as some other kids. Now, they might take the bait, and that makes me really sad.
Yeah.
But the
I guess
kids that
our
got the street
problem is
sense,
with the weirdos. It's not with the kids and the parents.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Don't be a weirdo. Don't be a weirdo.
Yeah,
That's
it all
it.
boils down to that. Thanks, Jeffrey Dahmer and whoever else is weird.
Oh my God, I was watching a TikTok earlier today, and it was, I'm not going to bring that up. It was a weird true crime story. It was this son who offed his mother, and he just, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not even bringing it up. Moving on.
All right, what else has been on the feed, Brazilians?
I have been obsessed with Cowboy Carter.
Oh my gosh, have you watched the whole
Not the whole thing yet, because
okay.
I don't have time to sit and watch it live all day. But I have watched several parts. My favorite part so far is when Rumi comes out, and the only reason is because Rumi has so much personality behind her. The night 4, when you could tell that they had a little conversation with her in the back, Rumi came out and she said, "You know I can't cut up today, but I would if I could." She
Period.
said. She said, "You know they watching."
Professional.
Yeah, she said, "You know they watching me. I can only do this today."
Grandma Tina go get me.
Yes. But really, she want to be like, ah!
Yes.
But I love that.
Though. I love like
me
how
too.
free she is, and just shout out to Beyonce for making her kids a part of it, because the world is so crazy. So many out there. I just love everything about her daughters, her family, everything. Like,
and I love that we are getting to see. She had to hide her life for so long because people are weirdos.
Exactly.
But I love that we are getting, and I think that's why I don't really like many celebrities. I think that's why I have no relatableness to Beyonce at all. But I feel so connected because I can see my mom and Miss Tina. I know that them at that house, when there's not a camera around, not a work in sight, they are just chilling at home as a family.
Yes,
I can't speak on Jay-Z, but I know Beyonce and them babies be at home like a regular family, chilling with Miss Tina in the back fussing. I just know.
Get your grandkids.
Yes, like y'all are from here. Like y'all talk like me. Y'all is just. I feel like they just regular people outside of her being one of the most iconic performers ever. When she's at home with her hair down and her kids, they in the living room chilling, watching TV like we are.
And I love that. Go get somewhere on too. Sometimes.
Yes, like get on out my face now, all that. And Miss Tina don't play. I just love that.
Listen, I know she get them together.
Yes, I've been watching.
Don't be talking to my daughter like that.
Okay. You know that, and you could tell Beyonce and Miss Tina have that little banter that mother-daughter has. Cowboy Carter is really at the forefront of my mind right now, and I'm so excited for our concert in June. Just be prepared because we're stepping out in our country attire. This was made for the Texans, really. So we are here to show out. Come my show is June 29th, and period.
I will say I usually don't feel FOMO about concerts because I just am not a concert girly. But this one, I'm like, I got some boots and I got an outfit. If y'all want me to come, like,
listen, because I don't even know if they're sold out. But
girl,
I was checking tickets and stuff.
Be surprised.
But there's people that won't be able to go.
Yeah, we'll see. But I actually love Cowboy Carter, like the album. I don't want to say a real country girl because, like, I'm giving the props to Beyonce. If she said her album is country, it's country, and I love it. But I grew up on country music, so I can appreciate everything that Beyonce is bringing to the country space. Yeah. And I just really like 16 Carriages. I feel that in my soul. Yeah. And I'm just like, Beyonce, you snapped, okay?
Yeah, absolutely love it.
for Cowboy Carter and everything that Beyonce stands for. And I'm not even in the Beehive, but like I'm like Beehive adjacent. Like
Yeah.
I don't got no problems with my girl Beyonce. Okay.
I'm crying at that. And that's it for the Fee Frenzy.
Yes, and this is out of order, but we're going to talk about the wellness wave real quick. So, for I think just everyday life, I am somebody who is drinking my water. Some days I do great. Some days I fall off a little bit, but in general, I try to drink a lot of water, or at least as much as I'm supposed to. Um, I have found it easier. I'm on the water bottle train. So
Oh.
I was a Yeti girl when Yeti was at the top. I was I don't even know what it's called. Hydro Flask girl.
Oh,
Now
yes.
I'm an Owala girly. And I never got on the Stanley train because I don't like a straw, but I do now because
Yeah.
Owala has the option to sip or like pour, like drink all in one. So the
Oh.
spout is like, it has a straw hole and it also has a sip hole all in one. So I really like the Owala water bottle, and that's what our wellness wave is about. Y'all, we have to moisturize our insides. I heard this on Getting Grown. You know how
Yes. Yes.
it's always like you gotta
Yes.
stay moisturized. And I think one of the most recent episodes I listened to, I've been listening out of order because I got behind, but she said you got to moisturize your insides. And I was like, that is so true. A lot of the stuff that we go through with our skin and other things like that, it's because we're not drinking enough water. And I
Yes.
found it easier to drink water when I have the water bottle attached to me. And
Yeah.
I think I took it to a family reunion, not the Owala, but a different one year. And my dad was like, well, what's the difference in just like drinking from a bottle or just like a cup of water? And I was telling him at the time I put fiber in my water. So that was one. But then two, like sometimes I will open a water bottle, sit it down, and then I come back and I'm like, is this mine or is this somebody else's?
Yeah.
I'm not going to finish that. Or I'll just forget about it and then later go grab another one. I feel like I waste a lot of water when it's in the plastic water bottles. And then cups of water, unless you got a refrigerator that's making the water, like where are you going to
Yes.
take your cup to fill it up?
Yes. Yeah. You know, I love a good water bottle and I love a good cup, but my issue is washing them. I
Oh,
stress out about like
it's too much.
mold getting into the nooks and crannies, and like I have a cup that we got and there's like this little rim in the top, and I can't get into this little crease and I can
Yeah.
see the mold, and now I
Yeah.
won't use it cuz I
So
can't
that
get in there.
Yeah, that happened to my Hydro Flask? I can't remember which water bottle I had before the Owala most recently, and I use it all the time. But that happened because I didn't know how to pop like the silicone piece
Yes.
out, and I looked it up online because there was mold in my water, and I kept
Yeah.
thinking like, what is this? Where did this come from? Did I leave the top off? It was mold. And
See?
so with the Owala, I actually have it here. There is an easy little like this silicone tab pops out super easy. I
Oh,
will say
I
the
like that.
design part on that end is like genius. And then under the rim, it's really easy. I mean, really easy, fairly easy to get the other silicone piece out. So
Yeah.
I do like the Owala for cleanliness and ease of like sanitation purposes. Because a
Mhm.
lot of the other water bottles are super hard to clean. And I'm like, I know y'all ain't cleaning some of those water bottles.
Yes, I'm like, y'all
Oh,
know y'all ain't cleaned it in months.
yes.
And
So,
me, I'm so bad, I'll just throw it away.
oh,
I'm sorry.
same, because
I'm
no,
throwing it away.
it's infested. We're done.
Yes. And with it, do you have another wellness wave? Because I feel like this is a perfect segue into something special we have going on this month.
I do not, but yes, tell the people, girl.
Yes. So this month, the Sister Series podcast has a giveaway
Where's my
happening.
button? Anyway,
I know we need it right on time next
I
time.
know.
Come on, come on.
I gotta get it together.
we have a giveaway happening, and I think that our giveaway is top tier because for one, y'all thanks to Mariah, because Mariah be one to give y'all stuff. And shout out to her because I'd be like, let's put a little sock in there or something. No, I'm just kidding. But we have in our giveaway, we have so many amazing things. One being the Awala water bottle that Mariah just brought to the Wellness Wave.
In icy white. Like, who doesn't love an
Cute.
icy white aesthetic
That's
for your water
cute.
bottle? Mm-hmm.
Yes. You also have a gift card in there. Who doesn't like gift cards?
Because
it's a
you can
Visa
use it.
gift card. Period. And then you've got 2 pairs of cloud socks, which I saw on something and I can't remember what, but apparently they're really nice socks and they're somewhat expensive. So I feel like they're worth it. And also,
I love a sock.
yes, me too. Me too. And you also going to get an aromatherapy candle in this basket that we will send to you if you're not local. And if you are local, we'll hand deliver it to you. There are just a few steps that you have to follow to enter the giveaway. Mariah, do you want to go over those steps?
Yes. Let me actually pull them up so I don't mess it up. So first, we want you to follow Sister Series Podcast, follow Elise's Me, and follow Mariah De Leon. Those are our socials. And then we had 2 special episodes at the top of the month on 5/1 and 5/8 for an air date. There's a nurse episode and a teacher episode. So you can like any of the posts related to that, or you can like the episode on, I guess, what, YouTube or Spotify?
Yeah.
And then comment and tag at least 2 friends. So if you tag more, you get more entries. So 1 entry per tag. And then also follow the guests that correspond with that episode. So our guest for the nurse episode was Brittany, and our guest for the teacher episode was, or we had 2, it was Quinita and Tabitha. And all their information and all this is listed on our Instagram page. And I think all our socials has the information. So y'all come jump into this giveaway. It's literally free. All you have to do is follow people and write a little something. It could be some heart hands.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like, if y'all don't want this basket, I will take it because this is what my dreams are made of.
Because I already want to bust those socks open and put them on right now.
A pair for you and a pair for me.
So just go ahead and enter our giveaway. We wanted to do something nice this month. We've done a lot of, again, appreciating. So we're going to appreciate our listeners as well.
Yes, we know that some of y'all have been riding with us from the beginning, and I say this as if it hasn't only been since January, but one day we're going to look back on this and boom, it's going to be 2 years. Then
and we've done a lot in our since January. We've done quite a bit.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, dang, we just started this, but we are on our way. I know we've talked about this before. Our ultimate goal is to be in person together. So one day you will see that. And then we have some fun guests lined up through whenever. Like, we're going to keep the guests coming. I don't think we're necessarily going to be a guest-centered podcast, but I think we will have guests when it calls for it, when we feel like it.
Yeah.
So
I love it. And I also wanted to, before we close out, I wanted to just remind you all that we really, really benefit from the comments that are left on all of the listening platforms, such as Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. If you could just leave a little comment of what you think about our podcast, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That really, really benefits us, and we appreciate it immensely.
Yes. So y'all remember, it's May. By the time y'all see this, it'll be almost the tail end.
I think this is what's today? Yeah, May 8th, May 15th is the drop date for this episode.
Yes, so May will be almost over. We've had appreciation for our nurses, for our teachers. We done touched on mental health. And y'all remember, sometimes, whether you're a teacher, a nurse, a mom, a dad, whoever you are, whether you're going to therapy or not, sometimes you will get rocked.
And sometimes we rock it.
But either way,
we rockin'.
Y'all next time. Bye.
Toodles.
Thank you so much for watching our podcast. This episode and every episode is produced by Elise and Mariah.
Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, where you can watch our full episode at the Sister Series Podcast.
Also, follow us on socials, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Sister Series Podcast.
See you next time.